You'll never find anything better at your age. My boss Bradley laughed when I handed in my resignation. Face it, James, you're 43. Who's going to hire someone like you in today's market? I smiled and said, You're right, Bradley. Thank you for everything. His words hit exactly where he wanted them to. 21 years in corporate strategy reduced to age discrimination in an instant. My resignation letter sat on his glass desk, looking as out of place as I felt. I mean it, James, Bradley continued, leaning back in his chair with that smirk I'd grown to hate. The one that showed up whenever he sensed weakness. Who else would take a chance on someone with your outdated approach? This isn't the 1990s anymore. We need fresh thinking, not old-school methods. Outdated approach. The phrase hung there while my mind flashed back to the digital transformation strategy I'd developed that increased our client retention by 23%. The nights I'd stayed until 11 p.m. refining presentations that Bradley would deliver to executives. The $2.8 million cost-saving initiative I'd designed. Innovations he'd presented as his own during board meetings. The Henderson account restructuring needed someone with modern vision, he added, tapping his Mont Blanc pen against my letter. Not that you were really in the running, but still. But I had been. I'd researched that restructuring for 4 months, developed a comprehensive framework that the client specifically requested. My application for project lead had mysteriously disappeared from HR 3 times. The position went to Bradley's former fraternity brother, who'd been with the company exactly 8 weeks. I appreciate the opportunity you've given me, I said, keeping eye contact despite wanting to walk out. This feels like the right time for a change. Running away because you can't adapt to new realities, he said, sliding my letter into a drawer. Go ahead. I'll be interested to see how this works out for someone your age. What Bradley didn't know, what none of them knew, was that I hadn't been passed over for that restructuring project because I lacked modern thinking. I'd been recruited for something far better. My name is James Hoffman, and until 3 months ago, I was a senior strategy analyst at what everyone considered the premier consulting firm on the West Coast. I graduated from Oregon State with an MBA, worked my way up through pure effort and results. No family connections, no fraternity networks. I arrived early, stayed late, and volunteered for the projects nobody wanted. People called me thorough. I saw patterns others missed, found solutions where others saw only problems. I also had a habit of mentoring younger analysts when supervisors tried to steamroll them, which didn't win me popularity contests with management. Bradley became my supervisor after a company restructuring 18 months ago. He had a talent for identifying promising work and making sure his name appeared on it by the time it reached the executive level. His favorite phrase during team meetings was, James's initial framework had potential, but I saw what it could become with the right strategic vision. The day I resigned began like any other. I'd arrived at 7:15 a.m., reviewed client feedback, and updated 4 project timelines. At lunch, I did what I'd been doing for the past 6 months. I walked 8 blocks from our downtown office to a small cafe tucked between an independent bookstore and a law firm. Most of my colleagues assumed I was hitting the gym or making personal calls during these breaks. Nobody questioned why I'd stopped joining team lunches. Nobody noticed when I returned with a notebook full of ideas and strategies. Nobody suspected I was meeting with Victoria Sterling. Victoria wasn't just anyone in our industry. She was the executive who had revolutionized business transformation consulting 15 years ago before stepping back from public leadership. Rumors about her retirement had circulated for years. Health issues, family obligations, a secret government consulting contract. The truth was both simpler and more strategic. Our first meeting had been accidental. I'd attended a small professional development workshop that most consultants considered too theoretical. The session ran over, and I found myself alone with the presenter, asking questions that apparently nobody had asked before. The presenter mentioned my questions to Victoria, who had been observing from the back row. You see systemic connections others miss, she told me that day, studying me with sharp focus. That's increasingly rare. That initial conversation led to another, then another. For 6 months, we met during my lunch breaks, discussing business innovations and market possibilities. I never complained about my workplace situation. I focused on solutions, strategic approaches, and industry evolution. She tested me with increasingly complex scenarios that required fresh thinking. Sometimes I succeeded brilliantly. Sometimes I failed completely. But I always learned something. What I didn't realize during those early meetings was that Victoria hadn't actually retired. She had stepped back to identify the right person to implement her vision for the next generation of consulting. She was evaluating candidates, but not through conventional interviews. "I've been observing how different minds approach complex problems," she explained during our 20th meeting. "Most people follow established frameworks. You create new pathways while respecting proven principles." 2 weeks before I resigned, Victoria made her offer. "I'm launching a new firm," she said, stirring her coffee. "The backing is substantial, based entirely on my track record and recommendations. I want you to lead strategy implementation." The position came with a base salary of $285,000, significant equity participation, and the opportunity to direct the most ambitious consulting project our industry had seen in a decade. It also required complete confidentiality until the public announcement. "Why me?" I asked, genuine curiosity overriding excitement. Victoria's answer changed everything. "Because when systems fail talented people, you don't just complain or give up. You build better approaches. That's exactly what we need." The day after my resignation, Bradley sent me an email. "When this doesn't work out, don't expect us to take you back. The market is tough for people in your situation." I didn't respond. Instead, I spent the next 2 weeks training my replacement, a sharp 28-year-old who deserved better mentorship than she would receive, and completing my outstanding projects properly. My colleagues whispered about my apparent foolishness for leaving without another position lined up. I let them think what they wanted to think. I cleaned out my office on a Friday evening while most people had already left for happy hour. As I carried my box of personal items through the empty hallways, I briefly wondered if I was making the right choice. Was I abandoning a secure but frustrating position for something that might collapse before it began? The doubt lasted exactly 15 seconds. Monday morning, I walked into Victoria's newly established headquarters, where a team of 9 experienced consultants awaited direction. By that evening, we had mapped out the framework for a revolutionary approach that would either transform our industry or teach us valuable lessons trying. The office space was different from anything I'd experienced. Natural light streamed through tall windows in a renovated warehouse downtown, no corporate gray carpet or fluorescent lighting. The conference room had a round table instead of the intimidating rectangular ones designed to establish hierarchy. "Welcome to Sterling Consulting Solutions," Victoria said during our first team meeting. "We're not here to replicate what everyone else is doing. We're here to prove that experience combined with innovation creates something entirely new." The team was impressive. 9 seasoned professionals, each bringing 15 to 20 years of experience from different sectors. No fresh MBA graduates looking to pad their resumes. No one trying to prove themselves by working 80-hour weeks. Just experienced people who knew their stuff and wanted to do meaningful work. Sarah, my wife, had been skeptical when I first mentioned the possibility of leaving my firm. "Are you sure about this, James? You've built a solid reputation there. Starting over at 43 isn't easy." But when she saw how energized I became after each meeting with Victoria, she changed her tune. "I haven't seen you this excited about work in years," she said one evening. "Whatever you decide, I'm behind you." The first month at Sterling was both challenging and refreshing. We worked long days, but they felt different. Every idea was discussed, refined, or respectfully discarded based on merit. Nobody worried about who got credit. Victoria made it clear that success would be shared, and so would recognition. In traditional consulting firms, she explained during one of our strategy sessions, junior people do the work, senior people take the credit, and clients pay premium prices for recycled solutions. We're flipping that model. Everyone contributes, everyone gets recognized, and clients get genuine innovation. 3 weeks after my departure from my old firm, the announcement hit every major business publication simultaneously. The headline alone made my phone buzz nonstop. Industry pioneer returns with groundbreaking venture, names veteran strategist as implementation director. The photo showed me standing beside Victoria Sterling outside our new offices. I looked confident, professional, and for the first time in years, genuinely happy at work. According to my friend Andrew Miller, who still worked at my former firm, Bradley was leading the weekly staff meeting when the news broke. A partner reportedly interrupted him mid-presentation by sliding their tablet across the conference table with the announcement displayed. His face went completely white. Andrew texted me, He stumbled through the rest of his presentation, which was hilarious because half of it was based on strategies you developed that he'd previously shot down. That same afternoon, my LinkedIn inbox lit up with messages, former colleagues congratulating me, industry contacts asking about opportunities, headhunters suddenly interested in my background. And then there was Bradley's message. Congratulations on your exciting new role. Perhaps we could discuss potential collaboration opportunities between our firms. I stared at that message for a long time. The guy who'd mocked my age and dismissed my ideas now wanted to collaborate. I didn't respond. Not yet. The first 8 weeks at Sterling were intense but rewarding. We developed what would become known as the Sterling Framework, a systematic approach to business transformation that combined traditional strategic principles with adaptive implementation methodologies. My role as implementation director meant I was responsible for taking our theoretical framework and making it work in real-world client situations. It was exactly the kind of challenge I'd been craving for years. "You need to present this framework to our board yourself," Victoria told me when we prepared for our first major investor presentation. "They need to see the strategic mind behind the concepts." "Wouldn't it carry more weight coming from you?" I asked, thinking of all the times my voice had been replaced by Bradley's. "They trust your reputation." Victoria's expression got serious. "Is that what you learned at your previous firm? To hide your expertise behind someone else's authority?" That hit me hard. I'd become so used to having my contributions minimized that I'd started expecting it. Something shifted inside me that day. I spent the weekend rewriting the presentation, putting my voice and strategic vision front and center. When I finished presenting to the board the following Tuesday, there was complete silence for about 10 seconds. Then the chairperson leaned forward. "This approach is unlike anything we've evaluated. The risk is substantial." My stomach dropped. "So is the potential return," she continued. "You have our complete support." That night, Victoria and I celebrated with the team at a local restaurant. As everyone talked around us, she said quietly, "Your former supervisor has reached out to me 4 times trying to arrange a meeting." I felt sick. What does he want? What people like him always want: to be associated with success they didn't create. She studied me. "He doesn't understand you're the architect behind our central innovation, does he?" I shook my head. While the announcement had named me implementation director, the specific details of our strategic approach remained confidential. Only those directly involved understood that the revolutionary framework we were developing had emerged largely from concepts I'd been refining for years. Ideas Bradley had repeatedly rejected as impractical. "He'll figure it out eventually," Victoria warned. "Be prepared." She was right. 10 weeks into the project, we launched our pilot program selection process. We decided to test our framework with 12 companies across different industries. The selection process was rigorous and completely anonymous. Companies submitted detailed proposals without knowing who would evaluate them. Our team assessed each submission based on specific criteria, without seeing company names until the final scoring was complete. When the results came in and company names were revealed, my former firm wasn't on the list. The next morning, my personal phone rang. Bradley's name flashed on the screen. "James," he said, his voice dripping with fake warmth. "It's been too long. I've been trying to reach you through Sterling's main number." "I've been busy," I replied, keeping my voice neutral. "What can I do for you?" "I wanted to congratulate you personally. Working with Victoria Sterling, that's quite an achievement for someone at your career stage." At your career stage. There it was again, the subtle dig wrapped in a compliment. "Thank you," I said, giving him nothing more to work with. "I notice our firm wasn't selected for your pilot program," he continued. "There must have been some oversight. Our submission clearly exceeded all the stated criteria." I took a slow breath. The selection process was completely anonymous, Bradley. No company names were attached to proposals during evaluation. Every submission was judged purely on strategic merit and innovation potential. The silence that followed told me everything I needed to know. Their proposal hadn't been good enough, not because I'd manipulated anything, but because their strategic thinking wasn't innovative enough to meet our standards. The irony wasn't lost on me. If Bradley had actually implemented any of my strategies during my time there, they might have made the cut. "Perhaps we could meet," he suggested, his tone shifting to something more desperate. I could provide some guidance on your project, for old time's sake. Share some insights about potential pitfalls. That won't be necessary, I said calmly, but I appreciate the offer. After we hung up, I felt oddly empty. I'd imagined confronting Bradley would be satisfying, but instead I just felt tired. There was too much important work ahead to waste energy on the past. Or so I thought, until 2 weeks later when the industry blog Consulting Edge published a feature interview with Bradley. In it, he claimed that the innovation at the heart of our project had originated in his department. The fundamental strategic framework being used by Sterling Consulting was actually developed under my leadership, he stated confidently. While certain elements have been modified and repackaged, the core methodology came directly from our team's work over the past 18 months. My phone started buzzing immediately. Text messages from former colleagues flooded in. Some expressed outrage on my behalf, others asked if Bradley's claims were accurate. Victoria forwarded me the article with a single question mark emoji. I sat at my desk staring at his words. This wasn't just about personal credit anymore. It threatened our project's credibility. If people believed we'd simply repurposed existing work, our reputation in the industry would be damaged before we'd even proven our approach. Victoria called an emergency team meeting within the hour. We need to address this immediately, she announced. Legal is already preparing a cease and desist letter. No, I said, surprising myself with how quickly I responded. That's exactly what he wants, to force us to reveal specific project details prematurely. We need a different approach. The team looked at me expectantly. For the first time since joining Sterling, I shared the complete history. How Bradley had systematically buried my proposals while claiming credit for my successful implementations. How the innovation they were now developing had been rejected repeatedly when I presented it at my former firm. Those same concepts he's now claiming credit for, I explained, were the ones he told me were too complex for current client needs and showed fundamental misunderstanding of market dynamics. So what do you suggest? Asked Maria, our senior analyst. I have an idea, I said, one that solves multiple problems at once. My plan was elegant in its simplicity. Rather than engage in a public dispute over intellectual property, we would accelerate our timeline for the next phase. We would expand the pilot program to include 8 additional companies, opening applications to all qualified organizations and evaluating them through the same rigorous, anonymous process. If Bradley's firm truly understands this innovation as well as he claims, I explained, their next proposal should reflect that deep understanding. If not, they'll expose their own deception. Victoria considered this carefully. It's risky. We weren't planning to expand for another 6 weeks. Are we ready? The team is ready, I insisted, and this approach lets the work speak for itself. No legal battles, no public disputes, just pure merit-based evaluation. The announcement of our expanded pilot program went out that same afternoon. Within hours, applications started flooding in. Among them was a submission from my former firm, filed less than 3 hours after our announcement went live. The evaluation process took 2 weeks. Our assessment team, which specifically didn't include me to ensure complete impartiality, reviewed each of the 47 submissions we received. They used a detailed scoring matrix that evaluated strategic thinking, implementation feasibility, innovation potential, and understanding of our framework's core principles. When the results came in, I wasn't surprised. Bradley's firm scored dead last among all applicants. Their proposal demonstrated a fundamental misunderstanding of the very innovation he'd claimed they had developed. It was clear they'd tried to reverse engineer our approach from public information, but they'd missed the underlying strategic principles entirely. Rather than publicizing this failure, I suggested something that would be far more effective. Let's invite Bradley to our quarterly review meeting, I told Victoria. Give him the opportunity to present his firm's understanding of our approach directly to our board and all the pilot companies. Victoria raised an eyebrow. That's either brilliant or cruel. It's transparent, I replied. If he truly believes they originated these concepts, he should be able to articulate them clearly to an expert audience. The invitation went out with language Bradley couldn't refuse without losing face completely. An opportunity to share insights as a thought leader at our quarterly gathering of industry innovators and pilot participants. He accepted within 2 hours. The quarterly review was scheduled at our headquarters with representatives from all 20 pilot companies. Bradley arrived early, dressed in his best suit, looking every bit the confident executive. When he spotted me in the lobby, he walked over with that familiar smirk. "I wasn't expecting to see you in a meeting at this level," he said, adjusting his cufflinks. "Will you be taking notes for the presentation?" I smiled. Not exactly. Before I could elaborate, Victoria called everyone into the main conference room. She welcomed the group, outlined the agenda, then did something that made Bradley's confident expression freeze. "James will guide us through the technical aspects of our framework before we hear from each company about their implementation experience," Victoria announced. "As our implementation director and the lead architect of this entire strategic approach, he's best positioned to walk you through the methodology." Bradley's face went from confident to confused to something approaching panic as I took the center position. I spent the next 30 minutes walking through our framework's theoretical foundations, practical applications, and the early results from our pilot group. The presentation went smoothly. I explained how we'd identified gaps in traditional consulting approaches, developed new methodologies for implementation, and created metrics for measuring transformation success. When I finished, the room erupted in applause, everyone except Bradley, who was staring at his hands. Next, representatives from each pilot company shared their experiences implementing our framework. The results were consistently impressive. Efficiency increases beyond initial projections, cost reductions exceeding targets, and unexpected benefits in related processes. Johnson Manufacturing reported a 34% reduction in operational waste. DataStream Solutions had increased client satisfaction scores by 28%. Pacific Northwest Logistics had streamlined their supply chains so effectively they were now consulting for competitors. Finally, it was Bradley's turn. Victoria introduced him as representing a firm interested in joining our program and invited him to share his understanding of how our innovation would integrate with his company's operations. He stood slowly, straightening his tie. You could see the sweat starting to form on his forehead. "Thank you for the opportunity," he began, his voice not quite as steady as usual. "As I've mentioned in previous interviews, many elements of this approach have striking similarities to work developed in my department." A murmur ran through the room. 20 executives who'd just spent 2 hours learning about our methodology were now hearing someone claim credit for it. Bradley sensed the skepticism and tried to pivot. "However, today, I'm more interested in exploring how we might contribute to the next phase of development," he said quickly. That's when I did something I'd been planning for weeks. I raised my hand. "Actually, Bradley, I'd love to hear more about your claim that your team originated this approach. Can you walk us through the specific elements you developed, and when exactly you developed them?" The room went dead silent. Every eye shifted between us as Bradley's confident mask completely cracked. He cleared his throat, looked around the room like he was searching for an exit. "Well, I wouldn't want to bore everyone with technical details that might be proprietary." "I insist," I said, keeping my voice friendly but firm. "This is a room full of industry experts who've just implemented these concepts. We're all eager to learn about your team's contributions." Bradley's eyes darted around frantically. "The core methodology regarding client transformation protocols and systematic implementation frameworks." "Please be specific," I interrupted politely. "Which aspects exactly did your team develop? And can you tell us when these innovations were first documented?" The panic in his eyes was obvious now. He fumbled through vague statements about innovative approaches and forward-thinking strategies while avoiding any concrete claims. With each evasion, you could watch his credibility disappear. Then, Victoria stepped in for the knockout blow. "While Bradley collects his thoughts, I'd like to share something with the group." She clicked her remote and the screen behind her displayed a detailed timeline. "This shows the complete evolution of our approach, including dated records of every concept development session, pilot test, and framework revision. The timeline clearly showed my contributions dating back 3 years, with documentation that could only have come from one source." "As some of you might know," Victoria continued, "before approaching James, I conducted extensive research into consulting firms across our sector. Part of that process involved speaking with board members, including those at James's former employer. That hit me hard. Victoria hadn't randomly encountered me at that workshop. She'd been watching me for over a year. Board member Andrew Miller was particularly impressed by strategic proposals repeatedly submitted by a senior analyst but consistently rejected or shelved," Victoria continued. "He provided copies of these proposals as examples of wasted talent within the organization. On screen appeared copies of my old proposals, complete with Bradley's dismissive comments written in the margins. Comments like, Too complex for current client needs and shows fundamental misunderstanding of market dynamics. The exact same concepts that were now transforming 20 companies and generating millions in value. Bradley's face had gone completely white. Those documents were internal and confidential, he managed to say. Indeed they were, Victoria agreed, which makes your public claim to have originated them particularly problematic, both ethically and legally. The meeting concluded shortly after that. Bradley left without speaking to anyone, practically running for the exit. As other attendees gathered their materials and said their goodbyes, Victoria approached me. "I should have told you earlier about my conversation with Andrew," she said quietly. "I wanted to see how you'd handle the credit theft without knowing you had backup. Why didn't you expose him when he published that interview?" "Because how you responded would tell me everything I needed to know about your character," she replied. "You chose transparency and professional excellence over revenge." That confirmed I'd made the right choice. 6 months later, our approach had revolutionized strategic consulting. Companies were lining up to join our program. My former firm eventually qualified as a Tier 3 participant, paying premium rates for late adoption. On the approval form authorizing their participation, my signature appeared right next to Victoria's. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even. It's creating a world where others won't have to suffer the same treatment you did. Sometimes winning isn't about destroying your opponent. It's about transforming the entire game. At 43, I learned that experience isn't outdated when it's combined with innovation and the right opportunity. Age isn't a liability when you're working with people who value wisdom alongside fresh thinking. Thanks for staying with me through this story. If you've ever felt undervalued at work, remember that your next chapter might be your best one yet.